Who are the saints? Praise the Lord.
Chukuna kamamie oya kere ni gwenua ayekele gena Chukuna kamamie oya kere ni gwenua ayekele gena Anyway naka saporo Anyway, naka sapo gejuko all wakagika anyway negosi all wakagika anyway negosi anyway naka sapo gejuko anyone naka sapo
Good afternoon, church. Hello. Good afternoon, church. We have gathered again to take care of business. Unfortunately, hello? Anybody home? Hi, in the back. Unfortunately, we have to do it in December, but it is what it is at this point. We got too many things going on this year. Anyway, we do our best to be brief and for us to move on with our lives. I thought it was okay. We just sent out, I just passed out the agenda. So just heads of ministries will kind of give us a few messages here and there, what they're doing and what they hope to do ahead of time. The board will make his comment, the board chair, and then that's it. And we have questions and answers. Anybody has a question for any of the presenter? So we encourage you to, if you're not sure of anything, just ask, and then hopefully you'll get the answer. Thank you. So without taking too much of your time, we would like to have the board chair make opening remarks, and then we go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State. Hello again. Good afternoon, Umunam. And welcome to this annual like the secretary said, Biko, forgive us for dragging this almost to the end of the year. It was around summertime, got scheduled. But anyway, we are doing this, first of all, as a constitutional obligation, meaning, all if the na governor, you know, ordinary constitution. About constitution, no kuibo. But akwụkwọ na hazi anyị as organization. Akwụkwọ iwu dere na anyị ga na-enwe ụdị nzukọ a with members at least once a year. Ka anyị nọkọ ọnụ kpaa nkata gbasara ụlọ ụka anyị, because Mandi na-achị ndị otu m nọ na bọọdụ a, anyị amara anọghị a ma ọrụ na unu asịrị anyị bịa n'ije ozi a. So we are servant leaders. Anyị na-ejelu unu ozi, and they make sense that anọkọtakwa ada no the middle of the year ma ngwụcha arọ anyị abịakwa back to you ịgwa anyị ozi unu dinyere anyị nekwe ka anyị si eje so far. And biko wopụta na obi unu o nwere nke anyị ejetara ọfụma unu nwe anyị unu agwa anyị mba unu emetarakwa nke a nekwe n'etu a ka a ga-esi mee nke a na ihe ha chọrọ na unu ụka ozi ka anyị na-ejere unu, and anyị chọrọ ka onye ọna na-abịa unu ụka na-abịa n'obi dị umeala. Ị na-akwado ọ na-ahụ gị na-arụ na ị na-abịa ebe ị ga-anọ otu ụmụnne gị n'otu ozi ọma, nwee a reset for the week, because mgbagharị a na-agbagharị n'obodo erika a na-achụ dọla, a ga-akwụ bills, material pursuit. But I forget that the makeup of humans is both material and spiritual. You have to be in balance of material and spiritual to be a functional human being. So in a focus on ka achụta dollar, forget ihe gbasara gị na Chineke kere gị, life ga-adịrọkwa complete. So that is ihe anyị achọ ebe anyị na-agbakọ every Sunday, ka ọrụ ebe anyị ga na-agbakọ n'obi aṅụrị. Onwedo nghọtafio anyị nwere among ourselves, ka anyị were obi dị umeala dezie ya ewe na-abịa nnọkọ every Sunday as family members. Did I try in this Igbo? Yes, thank you. So ịga n'iru nwere usoro a ga-esi eji gaa nkata abịara ịkpa. Anyị nwere ndị leaders of the various ministries. I'm akpọnitefa one by one ka ha bịa nye anyị account of their stewardship for the year. But in the conclusion of my remark, I have to appeal to you once again that anyị bidoro ozi ọfụrụ aka m ofenda na akpọruki this board member, but we do our best to really let us think outside the board. Outside the box. Since I hear a lot. This is how we've been doing it. This is how we've been doing it. Okay, we've been doing it for 20 years. Have we discovered the cure of diabetes? The answer is no. What I'm really saying, let's challenge ourselves to push the boundaries of possibilities. We may look small as a church, but the potentials are so great that we can make this place, eventually a big envy for the community in terms of a cultural center and a religious center for our people. So let's tell ourselves that we can do it. And regardless of the odds along the road, we can put our heads together and make this place a less hostile environment to come and worship God. Without much ado, let me have the honor to invite the children's ministry lead, Dr. Regina Ude. Mama G. Thank you.
Good afternoon, church. We try to minister to our kids in a spiritual way so that we can provide that nurturing to our kids in addition to what the parents, the family members, the relationships also bring to the table. Our goal is to provide our children with lessons that nurture their soul, impact their spiritual growth, and guide their relationship with God and man. It is the love that we have of each other that guides our weekly lessons. Our lessons include supportive materials that provide activities that are centered around the seasons of the church at the level that a child between the age of 18 months and 10 years will understand. The children's ministry aims to collaborate with our parents in preparing our children to accept Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior, as well as develop their relationship with God, the Father, and the Son. It is this relationship that is built upon a biblical foundation that is the strength that we try to live by encouraging our kids to continually to engage in and to read the active words of Christ. We try to foster an environment that allows our children to grow in their faith through the lessons that are learned, through the journey, through the Bible that we take, as well as in trying to get them all to be comfortable in reading. We try to encourage them each and every day to read your Bible, even if it's just one verse, to talk to God continuously, even if it's just in your car going to school. We have this particular song that we like to sing, I will make you fishermen of men. We always ask the kids, who wants to be a fisherman of men? We always get a resounding, me, 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 me. And it's through that foundation that we try to encourage our kids to continue to love each other and be those disciples that God has called upon each of us to be. Today, God has continued to bless our children's ministry. Our teachers list have grown from 6 teachers to 9. And so we thank God for that. Our teachers are Mrs. Ife Nawakwa, Mrs. Teresa Owujo, Mrs. Chinonso Andy, Mr. Nanso Nabaswabi, myself, Mrs. Caroline Everechi, Mrs. Gift Awina, Mr. Obi Onebu, and Mr. Emeka Yubacha. And I apologize if I messed up your names. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Each of these teachers have such a love of God, and they have such a love for your children. Many of us don't even have kids in that age group anymore, but because it's that love we have for being around those kids that we give each and every day that we're here to our children. This year, the teaching of the lessons began with praise and worship. This year, we even incorporated musical instruments into our praise and worship. And unfortunately, today, I left them in the other cars, so the kids were really disappointed. So they've come so used to having those musical instruments that they use in their praise and worship. And so we just try to find a little added tools that we can add to the worship, to the service, to what we bring to the kids, to get them more engaged. Our lessons also include Bible studies, puzzles and games, and even videos when we're able to come inside to further enhance the lessons that we are trying to teach the kids for that day. These lessons are age appropriate, and we really look at it as the first step that we can provide for these kids to get a little bit closer to the Lord in their various daily activities. Our very first activity of this year was our annual Resurrection and Easter activities. This year, as well as last year, we were able to do our egg hunt, as well as provide over 50 Easter baskets to the kids that were all sponsored by the Children's Ministry. The children continue to grow its annual goal of recognizing those academic achievements of those who graduated during the year. This year, we recognized 26 graduates that range from preschool to PhD level. We thank Sister Sally Okeke and the Women's Ministry for providing scholarships of $250 to $200 respectively to our high school graduates. We also thank those of you that sponsored us in our annual fundraiser, which is the only fundraiser we do as a children's ministry, which is the brochure that we published during graduation. And with your help, we were able to, although we paid all of our expenses, we were able to realize $1,300 in profit. So thank you guys for supporting that initiative. Each Father's Day and Mother's Day, our children try to come here and present to you some songs, some tribute to our parents, just to show you how much we really love and honor our mothers and our fathers. We also had our annual Harvest Carnival this year that included games, food, prizes. This year, instead of taking the expense of trying to rent the equipment that we normally do from various vendors, we took it upon ourselves to use some of the money that we had in the children's ministry, and as well as the generosity of Teresa Awujo, we purchased that equipment that you saw those kids utilizing on Harvest Carnival Day. So that equipment belongs to us, the church. We are continually looking and asking God for his help to provide us with a container to store our materials in, and that will come hopefully in 2023. We would like to personally thank Mr. Martin Guyers for assembling all those equipments that we brought to him graciously, and we thank him for that, as well as Mr. Ernest Opera for providing us temporary storage without complaint. So thank you, my brother, for that. We appreciate you. Lastly, in partnership with the women's ministry, we want to continue with our annual Thanksgiving. And this year, with the help of the women's ministry and your help, we were able to feed 41 families in our community during Thanksgiving. And so we thank you for that. This weekly attendance that we normally have has increased tremendously. Our average attendance is between 40 to 45 kids each Sunday. So we have a lot of kids that are out there. And we can continually ask, those of you, just come and spend a couple of minutes with us, maybe 20 minutes, help during snack time. Whatever you can give to assist us, we will be greatly appreciative of that. Also, in addition to that, we continually ask the parents, instead of buying a PlayStation 5, you can buy that too if you want, but please, we ask the kids, the first thing on your list for this Christmas, ask your parents to give you a Bible. And many of them said that they would, and so we're encouraging you, please help your kids by purchasing them a Bible and asking them to bring it to church with them each and every Sunday. We also want to thank the women's ministry. They were so supportive of us. They were able to provide us with funding to purchase 8 Bibles at $35 each for our children to use in our ministry. So thank you to the women's ministry for that as well. We continue to thank the previous board and the past board, the previous board and the current board, for your continuous support, for what you do for our children, what you do for me. I always say I don't know if I get partial treatment, but I can come to you guys with any request, and you always honor that request. So I thank you for showing me that grace and that mercy, and I thank God for his favor. So that being said, thank you for allowing us to minister to your children, and we love it, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ude. Fantastic job. Just a quick reminder that a critical part of the agenda is the question Q&A segment. That is freely asking any questions or making any suggestions that you want. We'll get to that, I think, in the 9th item of the agenda. Now, let me, moving on, invite Dr. Ogochukwu Okeke, lead of the Young Adult Ministry. Dr. Okeke. Thank you.
Good morning, church. Oh, good afternoon, church. Sorry. Same thing. Okay. For the Young Adults Ministry, the plan is for us to do more beginning next year. Because this previous year that is about to end, all we did was stay upstairs, and during the Young Adult Sundays, we just do some readings. But the pastor has already told me that they expect more from us. And in that note, I am going to be needing help because, you know, I'm a working mom of 4. I cannot plan all the events that the young adults really want and the church will want us to do. I do need help in the young adult section. I was able to ask them some questions this morning of what they want to see change this coming year, and they are saying they want to be involved in more activities, and they want to be able to go on trips like they have done in the past with Pastor Olu, and they said they want more food upstairs, and they said they want, majority of them said they want more activities. So, and that is exactly what the pastor expects from the young adults ministry. We haven't been doing much. During the Mother's Day event, we were not able to do anything. Father's Day, the same thing. I do need help. So we'll be able to give you more things. By this time next year, we'll be able to present to you, this is what we have done, and this is what we have not been able to do. Please, we do need help. I was given some names of some women that are supposed to be helping me upstairs, but I do not really see them upstairs. I am almost there alone most of the time. And the young man that came that was supposed to be helping me, he found a job, and he's not always here on Sundays anymore. Please, that is the only thing I have to say. Please, help. And that will be all for me for the young adults.
Thank you, Dr. KK. I like your candor in really letting us know that you need help. And please, let me, at this juncture, Dr. KK, please feel free to reach to the board. If there's anything the board can do to support your ministry, we're certainly going to do that, okay? Do not at all suffer in silence. We're here to feed off each other. But thanks for your honesty, and I know you can do well. Come next year. Thank you. Moving on, may I have the privilege of inviting the lead of the women's ministry, Mrs. Oluchi Nkemere. The Iron Lady.
Good afternoon, church. Okay. So for the women's ministry, we have a new leadership that started on July 26th. And the new executives for the women's ministry are myself, Mrs. Oluchi Nkemere, Attorney Cecilia Anonkwo, Mrs. Joy Gayos, Mrs. Chinonso Andy, Mrs. Pat Anidike, Mrs. Teresa Awujo, and my sister, Mrs. Uju Ojiako. That's what our leadership comprises of. So far, since our regime took off, we have been able to set up 3 committees. The 3 committees are basically, the first committee is to review our bylaws, because in our bylaws, since taking over, we find out that there are some things that are in our bylaws that are not generalized, or maybe there are some ways we can shape it up. A couple of times I felt embarrassed because something will happen to a woman and they'll be like, what are you doing? And I'll be like, this woman is not a member. And based on our guideline for the women's ministry, you have to be a member of the women's ministry, not just a member of the church, in order for the women to participate in other levels of activities that pertains to women. So we are reviewing our constitution to basically know how we can streamline things and basically make it to be more inclusive and more diverse and give people more opportunity to come in and join the women's ministry. The next committee we formed is the retreat committee and outing committee. Last year, we were only able to do the general retreat. We were not able to do the women's retreat. By next year, we will be able to plan a retreat for the women that will just be the women's section. And we also want the women to have a time they can have an outing that will just be women's outing. go away and kind of take away from the stress of family and church and all the other activities that they do, and just do something to refresh themselves. The last committee that we have right now is the fundraising committee, and again, you people, you know, the women like to do things in the church, and we can't do it without money. So we are also planning some fundraising activities through the fundraising committee. And all those we will start implementing come 2023. Hopefully we will form 2 more committees by January, and one of those committees will be the evangelism committee and hospitality. And those will focus more on things that relate to our spiritual need, our family need, social need, and they will be coordinating things between our members and the executives and other members. And the last committee will be our planning and giveaway. Like Dr. Regina Ude said, we are always trying to collaborate with other ministries to do something, and we will continue to work on that because we are a giving church, and we are an organization that is expected to give. So we continue to work on that, and that committee will also be working in collaboration with all these other people to make sure that we continue to carry out that function of giving. We are also planning to resume our Skid Row visit, which we have not done because of the COVID. So hopefully our new planning committee or giveaway committee will plan something that can take us back to the Skid Row to go deliver some daily need things that those people out there really, really need. And the other giveaway that we normally give in church, where all the women can bring all their no-use clothes, shoes, and things that we always give away, we can also work to collaborate with the Tuesday giveaway to give out more things. The women's ministry, since inception of this, our new membership, we have gained at least 6-7 new members. And I'm very grateful that we are basically working on increasing our membership, in making sure we involve all the young ladies, the young women who are in this church that previously have not been member of the women's ministry. And to God be the glory, we have had a very good response. In this 2022 alone, we have had 13 new members. And as current, we have 78 members in the women's ministry. Then some areas of concern that basically we have been hammering on is our coffee hour. We basically have had issues with hosting coffee hour. Of the 52 weeks in a year, I say we are lucky to have people who give us food like 60% of the time. And the remaining 40% of the time, we don't have anybody sponsoring coffee hour. And the women have been shouldering a lot of it. So I am pleading to the board and the men's ministry that please, we need you to chip in. On the days that there is no food in church, it costs about 200 and something to basically bring some snacks to church for our children and for the whole church in general. And that $100, if you multiply it by about 20 weeks, which is about 40% of what, of the Sundays we don't have anything in church, it's about 4,000 something. So it kind of add up. And the women has been shouldering most of it. So we need more support. If you're gonna give the women some kind of annual fee reimbursement or something that can go toward that feeding of the church, it will really be appreciated. Then the women's ministry will also be working with the pastor, the board, the men's ministry to make sure that we streamline our Mothers Union and Guild enrollment and the requirement that goes with it, and basically make sure that we are on the same, we are all on the same grounds when it comes to induction of women into Mothers Union and the Guild, because as Anglicans, most of us that are Anglicans and all of us here that are Anglicans, there is a process to it. It is not a free-for-all. And somebody just come walk into the church and said, oh, this is what I want, and they get it and they walk away. So there is a process to it. In the past, it has been like a little bit of a drag. But in this administration, we are working very hard to make sure that we review our bylaw, kind of list out what our expectation is and some of our guideline is, present it to the board, and make sure we also discuss it with the pastor and make sure that, those things are done that way. Everybody will know that as a woman, when you come to this church and this is what you want, you know what the expectations are. Then the last one is conflict resolution. As women, this regime, our goal is to basically bring all women on the table, draw all women into the ministry, and basically make sure that we are united. Because the united we are, the more we can stand. We are tired of frictions, quarrels, conflicts, gossips. We just want to plead to the church, to the board, to the men's ministry. When something is going on with the women, please involve the women's ministry. That way we can make sure that we take care of the issue that relate to women in the way that there will be peace and harmony, and we just want to make sure that the women can come to church and see one another, give one another a hug, and basically be happy and not see one another and look the other way because of the little grudges and the gossip that is going on. Some of them that can be, verified, some that cannot be verified, and all kinds of little conflicts that go on. So with that, I thank you all, and that's what I have for today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Moving on, let me invite the orator of the town, the leader of the men's ministry, Ben Nkemere. Uncle. The MC extraordinaire. I cry with the orator of LA.
Save me the grief, Doc. Good afternoon, church. What a day to be at All Saints Anglican Church, where we always love. Like our board chair said, we are moving on. This is what is mandated by our constitution, that we have to have this every year, regardless of the time. Even if we're having it in December, it's still okay, but at least we are having it. That's the most important thing. So please, I would like to express my appreciation to the congregation, to the board, to all the ministries, the children ministry, the women ministry, and all others that are involved in this family church. I thank you all for giving us the opportunity to serve you and to stand before you and say a few things. Myself and my ministry, the men's ministry, we were, as you all know, we were recently elected few months ago. So we really don't have much to report, but I will touch on a few things. We have our own vision moving forward from next year. Basically, we have already started. We were elected, myself, Honorable Donna Iwago, Attorney Pete Obe, Dr. Charles Izuako, Chief Uche Wankwo, and my brother Azubike also. We were the new members of this, and also Obi Onibo. We were all elected a few months ago to represent the men's ministry. And as you know, I always say that women are the fuel, men are the engine. The men of All Saints Anglican Church have stood still. They have been working. The women have been pushing. They have been pushing. When you look at what they do in various churches, not just at All Saints Anglican Church, they have been the fuel. They always push things, and we men, we are the engine that really drive it. We have done so much the past men's ministry. If you look at the church, the pew, the most recent thing we did, I believe, was the solar system. In the past, the church has spent so much money on energy, but right now, with that investment we had in that installment of the energy, we are able to reduce some of our costs. Men have done other things just like the women have in this church, and we will continue to be involved in various aspects of development of this church. And whenever we are called upon, that is one of our vision coming this 2023, that men will be a lot more involved. We are going to pick up a couple of projects, whatever we can, the church will want us to do, or we will choose the ones we are going to do. So we are going to rely on the past experience and the investment of the past ministry. We're going to build on what they have already done. So I'm grateful under the leadership of Engineer Linude. So I thank you, the past ministry. We are going to rely on you guys to keep guiding us, the new men's ministry that we have today. There are so many things based on our vision, the men's ministry, we are going to implement coming this 2023. And I'm glad that the Dr. Okeke touched upon some of those things, some of those areas, and also Dr. De. We are planning to expand our involvement with the young adults. We are going to do that. It has been a challenge in the past, but at least we have to make effort to try and see what we can do, what we can achieve with them. It's not just for this church. It has been a challenge. I've talked to some other churches, getting our youth. In the past few years, we had a dynamic youth program. I would like to see that back. During the time of my daughter, my big daughter, Linda, we had a vibrant youth group in this church led by Dr. Casey Azoma. They were doing a lot of stuff. They were involved in community associations. They were involved in fundraising. They were involved in a lot of things. So I would like to see that come back to All Saints Anglican Church by His grace. And I have been talking to some of the youth upstairs, and I know, like Dr. Keke said, what they want. If you look around, Dr. J mentioned that they have over 40-something children, right? So that would tell you that today at All Saints Anglican Church, we are blessed to have a lot more younger parents in this church. When we started this church, we weren't that many. But today, we have so many young mothers and fathers in this church. So that means our number of our children have increased. So we have to be involved in their life, men. We have to do a lot more. So that is one of our vision that we are going to pursue come 2023. We are going to be involved in their lives. We are going to have a lot more activities with them, not just the carnival that we have. So we are going to do that. We're also planning on membership outreach. And I would really like the church to be involved in that. Let it be a church-wide event. But men, we are going to pursue our own. When I mean outreach, I'm talking about, you can see sometimes pastor will say that we have to reach out to our members. And we should. If you don't see people come to church, pick up the phone and call them. See how they're doing. Men, sometimes we are laid back in doing that. We have some of our members that have issues, they have family. When you engage them one-on-one, you realize that we all are going through stuff. They don't want to toot their horn out there. They don't want to just broadcast their issues. But when you engage them one by one-on-one, you will see that, hey, sometimes it's just an ear to listen. That's all they need. They don't care whether you want to solve their problem or not, but they just want you to give them their ear for you to listen to what they have. So, men, we are going to be involved in that. We are going to call our members. We have some families that are going through stuff that we need to reach out to. Let me give you an example. Our brother and mother passed away a few months ago. I don't know how many of us men that have reached out to the wife to see how the kids are doing. We have to be doing that. Maybe some of you are doing it, but I think on behalf of Men Association Ministry here, we should be doing things like that. We have our brother, Dr. Sir Ndobago, who has been ill. A lot of you haven't seen him in church. On behalf of Men's Ministry, how many of us have reached out to him, see how he's doing? Most of these things, I do them on my own, but very soon, I've been doing it on behalf of the Men's Ministry. So we are going to have a committee on that that will be out there doing things. And you are going to come back and report to the men's ministry every time we have a meeting, the progress you have in your own committee. We are establishing a lot more committees, a lot more ad hoc committees that will be working on things. We are going to have telephone directory that men will have. Again, I would like that to be church-wide. We had that in the past. I don't think we still have that today. The men's group, we intend to do that so that we have to outreach our members whenever we can. We are going to prioritize a lot of things that we do in this church. We are going to be a lot more involved in the coffee hour. I understand that men have been involved, but very lukewarm. The men's ministry chair lady has said that, and I promise we are going to be involved in that. We have the fund. For some reason, we have been doing it, maybe not to the extent that we'd like to see men's ministry get involved. But I promise you, moving forward, we will do that because we have the fund. So we will help the church in doing that. Another thing in our vision is to drive membership. I see so many men. When I looked at Dr. Izuako gave me a list of men's ministry a few weeks ago, and I took a look at that list. I see a lot of names. It seems that we have a lot more men in that. But when we have our meetings, when we have events, I don't see that much. So we are going to reach out. We plan to start reaching out to those people that are on that list. If they are no longer members of this congregation, then we know that. But if they are still members of this congregation, then we need to reach out to them and see why they are not getting involved. I would like to see a lot more men involved and participate in church activities, not just to be out there on Sundays. We have to be out there. We also need to be involved in other areas of this congregation so that we can build the church. Like the doctor said, it can be a citadel of this, not just this community, but the entire county of Los Angeles. All Saints Anglican Church, we are equal to that task. Are we not? We are equal to that task. We talk about the Igbo Catholic, how did they build it up? The same way. So we can do that. We also talked about other things other areas that we are going to be involved in. It's our bylaw. A lot of our members in the past have said few things about, how we conduct our business and how we do things. So we are going to really look into that this coming year. We are going to establish a committee that will look into the bylaws, see how we can refine it so it can reflect and be a working document for the men's ministry that will be effective in dealing with issues that may arise in our ministry. So, my brothers and sisters, we are going to be intentional, we are going to be strategic in dealing with men's ministry moving forward. There are so many good things that can come out of this ministry. So I thank you all for giving us the opportunity to serve you. Like we said, we are here to serve. That's what the doctor said. We are here to serve you. Any idea that you have that will increase our effectiveness, I applaud you, I ask you, I beg you to bring it forward. Thank you so much.
Of course, I know you wouldn't disappoint in your eloquence and oratory. Give a hand to him. Okay, the anchor of this church, any church, is the clergy and the choir. So let me take this opportunity to invite the music director, Sir John Awujo. John Awujo, please. Oh, behind me. Come and talk to us briefly.
Thank you so much. I don't have that much to talk about the choir because you folks see us every Sunday and see what we do and how we display while we are here. If we are doing good or if we are doing bad, you folks know. Therefore, let me say something about the choir at this time. Since the COVID came about 3 years ago, we have not been having our normal rehearsals on Saturdays and Fridays like we used to do. That's why most of the specials we do on Sundays, we don't do it as we used to do it because we don't practice because of the COVID season. Now COVID is gone. Okay. My advice now, I'm getting advice from you guys to prolong our absence on Saturdays. But anyway, the choir, to me, the music industry is doing good. I applaud the music section, the band section too. Some of the members come over here and assist us in playing some of these instruments. That helps to uplift the music the members of the choir does. We have some new members, and some new members that came to join the choir, they have some good voices, and we're trying to see how we can do to improve that. There's always ups and downs in every organization you are. Sometimes, due to one thing or the other, there may be some slipping or the other. Some people try to disagree and agree. But we are trying to make some adjustments and make sure that everyone works together. There's nothing like peace. When peace comes into a place, things have to improve, So we are trying to bring up some new guidelines, working with the board, to see that things in the choir goes right the way it's supposed to be. Like I said, there's ups and downs and stuff like that, but I applaud the members that are in the choir, and I encourage people, if you have the voice, come and join us. If God gave you the voice to sing, come and join the choir. It's a good thing to do. If old folks like us can sing, I know all these young people can sing too. So try and be a member of this. And we display, I was surprised when we went to the synod, what the choir did at the synod. This choir is now known all over the world. Please clap for them. Yes, even the bishop was dancing. All the clergy from all over that came to that synod were all dancing. No, they were coming to me and asking me, which church, which choir are you, which one? We want to come to your church. We want to invite you to come to our church. As a fact, one of that clergy came here the following Sunday to come and watch us and see what we're doing. So that's an applaud to this church. And I hope the board, the church, and everything will try to be supporting the choir sometimes. And most of the time, I would say, the choir needs some uniforms. The uniform they had has been about 20 years now, getting to 15 years old. If they can do something to make a little bit change, to give me a little bit design, give me a new fashion, that would be nice. At the same time, when I was a kid, like 9 or 10 years old, and going to choir back home, sometimes our choir, the church sometimes gives us some soft drink and everything, cabin biscuit, to entice our throat. This choir has been singing for a long time. Nobody entices their throat. Every Sunday they'll come here and do the same thing. Nobody. No. That one is for general church. That one is for general coffee hour. Give them something, not every sometimes you give them paper certificate. That doesn't help. Do something for them and encourage them. That way they will do more and more, right? So please, I thank everyone. I thank you all for your support and everything. It's been a long time I've been doing this. I don't have that much. As a fact, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So I thank everybody for their support. And as God gives me lives and everything and things, I will still continue to do what I'm doing. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Of course, the board is always around to support you in your mission. Thank you. Thank you for your patience so far. Moving on, and we're crawling towards the end of this. At this point, let me have the honor to invite our Canon, Dr. Enwareji. Come and canonize this session.
Thank you, sir. My board chairman. Thank you so much. I want to thank my good people, All Saints Anglican Church. Honestly, your story is known all over this diocese. Good stories. I tell you the truth, All Saints is doing well. We are doing well. It's because we are representing well, we are doing well in the diocese, that the diocese deemed fit to elect me into the diocesan executive committee. So anytime we go for any meeting, it's all Saints, All Saints. If we are absent in the meeting, I will start sending emails, because by the grace of God, we are making impact in the diocese. That is the gospel truth. As bishop, he will tell you. As bishop. Not only that, I also made the registrar of the LA Deanery. The synod that just ended some few months ago. I was the one that registered all the members from Los Angeles, because we are doing well, All Saints Anglican. So clap for yourselves. We are doing well. So I want to thank every one of you. I want to say that this is the 49th Sunday, right? We have 3 Sundays to do Christmas. And we have maintained the routinization of Sunday worship service. There is no Sunday that we did not hold our service here, no matter the challenge. And I want to say again that out of these 49 Sundays, I was absent for only once. That was the day I traveled, the first time I traveled out of California since 2016, December we came here. My life has been All Saints, Pasadena, All Saints, Pasadena, All Saints, Pasadena. That's how my life has been. But God helped me, I think July 2nd of this year, I traveled to Texas for book review. Thank God for Johnny Mercies. So we made sure that all the programs of the church were carried out, all the programs as planned. Our Modern Sunday, right? Fathers or Men's Sunday, our annual Thanksgiving service, the church annual picnic and retreat, Good Day service, Good Friday service, Easter Sunday service, Christmas Sunday service, New Year Eve, crossover night, and service of songs, Covenant Renewal Sunday. All these we made sure we carried, except one that we did not do this year. That is the Monday, Thursday, because of probably our attitude towards that. It's a Thursday Monday is the Thursday that Jesus inaugurated the Holy Eucharist. And the text for that day is usually John 14, where he washed disciples' feet. So I'm just thinking, if I will bring it to make it a Sunday thing, it's very remarkable and significant. So we're not able to do that. Apart from that, we did every other thing that all churches all over the world do. Praise the Lord. By the grace of God, as your pastor. I don't know. You are seeing me every day. Your judgment of me or your assessment of me is better than what I say. But what I'm just saying is what I think God helped me to do so far within these 49 Sundays. Yes, sacramentally, or before I go to sacramental duties, as a pastor, I do a lot. Even though I'm a part-time pastor, honestly, I don't work as a part-time. That's the truth. I do a lot. I spend hours on phone with people. I visit people a lot. Let me not just hear that someone is sick. Wherever you are, I will visit you. I do that often. So I counsel people on appointment, people that really wanted me to do so. Because we have so many counselors these days, isn't it? Yeah, so anybody that indicates his interest for counseling, I make sure that I do that. So I visit grieving and sick members. I know some of our members that just died. I've been visiting and also reaching out to them on behalf of the church. I don't go as a person, as Simon, but I go as the pastor of All Saints Anglican Church. And what I tell them is this: even if other members did not visit you, pastor has visited you on behalf of the church. And I believe they take it, they understand it. So, I do my best to encourage spiritual development and growth of our members. And I do that through Bible studies. And that's a challenge I'm having. I'll be telling you that the numerical growth of the church is between 165 to 175 so far. Members. Now, it pains me that out of this number, just about between 11 and 15 people attend Bible study. And the Constitution empowers, the bylaw empowers me to teach members Bible study. And I must thank those that attend every Friday. I must thank you. And I want to encourage you. Please, make it part of your duty next year to attend Bible. It's online Bible study. It gives the pastor joy when people attend Bible study, attend prayer meetings. That's when we know whether people are growing spiritually or not. We're not talking about material growth, but spiritually, we need to grow. We need to grow. So I do that. And you listen to my sermon. I don't think I'm one of those, I'm not saying that I preach well. And I can't say that you will know. But I know I try my best. I invest hours in my sermon. Hours in sermon preparation. God knows. I invest hours in sermon preparation because I don't want to mess up. And if you watch me, I have never come here without a printed material, right? That shows that someone is preparing his sermon. So I try my best. And again, church worship service program. I prepare it every week. Every week. When my good brother Bodenes traveled, normally when I prepare it, I send it to him to put it this, right? And I send it to almost 117 people here. You receive my email. But unfortunately, I know I don't think one or two persons, or more than 2 persons or 3 persons check the email. But so when Mr. Aneoba traveled, so I was the one that prepared it. Brothers and sisters, I suffered. Before I used to send it sometimes Thursday evening or Friday afternoon. But after going through that, I vowed that the latest day I will send it is Wednesday. And that I have been doing because it takes a lot of work to produce this you are seeing. And if you come to my house, from the day one I came to the church till date, I have been keeping this. Because whoever will take over from me in life, these are part of documents I will submit, I will hand over to that person. Praise the Lord. So I prepared the program. I prayed persistently for members, and God is hearing our prayers. Now, sacramentally, I christened and dedicated 4 children this year. It's evidence of growth. 4 children this year. They are named Denzel Chigozie Jindo, Chinelo Chidemma Wanisobi, Keneze Jeff Igwe, and Justin Chimobi Okaf. These are 4 people I christened this year. And as a Eucharistic community, right? Eucharistic community. I make sure that I don't starve you. Bishop has warned us that every service we must have communion service. But one thing I'm finding difficult is the Igbo version of it. You know, since COVID, we used to use the Igbo prayer book. We used to use it before the COVID. Now, after the COVID, during the COVID, we embraced this. And now we are used to it. The day we stop providing, you see some people will be angry at me. And maybe next year, we'll try it. So that when we come to church, we'll be using our hymn books. I will ask you, go to page this. Do we like that? I think that's okay, right? Right? It's okay? And that will save us some papers. How do you see it? You know, we like easy things, simple thing, right? That's one thing. We are going to do that next year, right? So when we come, I say, get the hymn book, the prayer book, liturgy book. So page 4, that's what I'll be telling you, page 4. Is that okay? All right. It's all right. Anyway, we'll try our best to make our service, our worship sweet and smooth, right? Right? So we do that regularly to ensure continuity of Christ's command that says, do this always in remembrance of me. And again, I joined 2 couples in holy matrimony this year. That church, but churches, we are doing fine, isn't it? 4 people christened and 2 people joined in holy matrimony. It's a great achievement for the church, right? Then the church hosted the bishop on this year's on Saturday 4th and Sunday 5th June 2022. And during that episcopal visit, Bishop was able to confirm 17 confirmants. Bishop was able to do that, 17 children, and 4 women were admitted into Mothers Union, and 5 women into Women's Gate. Praise the Lord. We are doing well, right? Women leader mentioned Mothers Union and this. And, well, we are talking about that. So I've said that the numerical growth of the church is between 165 to 175. God is increasing us. Praise the Lord. Yes, this year we lost 2 of our members by death. Late Mr. Emmanuel Udo died on Wednesday, February 9, 2022, and Mrs. Onyinye Ikebwano, who passed on Friday, June 9, 2022. Brethren, please, let us stand, rise, and observe a minute silence for these people. May the souls of our brother and our sister who departed this year and the souls of other faithful rest in God's perfect peace. Amen. Thank you. Above all, we have peace and unity. All the departmental heads that have just made their presentation, if there's no peace and unity in this church, it won't be possible. So I thank God for that peace and unity. And I said it. I said, it's good to have pastors who like peace and unity. It pays to have pastors that love peace and unity. They can endure. They can tolerate. You know, I remember I have during baptism, I have experienced so many nasty things that happened during baptism. I told you I was having baptism. A canon from Nigeria called me. I said, what happened? What happened? What happened? So people are, because I just wanted peace. I just wanted peace. You know, and God has helped us to have that peace. Let this peace continue. Please, one thing you should be praying, be a man, a woman of peace. Where there is strife, be that person that will bring peace in that environment. So we have peace by the grace of God. And this peace will continue. The bishop is happy that this church has remained peaceful and united. That is the truth, Bishop. When I came to this church, to be honest, I know people that said, well, let's see him now. They are giving him only 2 weeks. They will start again. Friends of this church, right? I'm telling you the truth. Friends of this church. Say they know them now. No. You people, they are friends. You see, sometimes I've learned not to be political when I'm doing my things, right? And when you come to me and you're telling me that so M is so B, and tomorrow when I go out, I see 2 of you drinking. What are you telling me? You think I'm stupid? No. You tell that Mr. A is bad, Mr. B is bad, and the next time you are drinking and they cracking joke and I say, So they are friends of the church. And not all the, like I said, not all the persons you call your friends are your friends. They will determine whether you are friends or what. That is the basic life. So they say, but today I was 4 years August this year. I spent 4 years. 4 years August this year, right? 4 years. And no shaking, Oh, days, Ambassador, you know, God is helping us. We'll get there, I'm dreaming of a cathedral. A cathedral. If I do that and run away, I'll be glad. A cathedral where people will. I told you this is not organ. I hope it is not organ. Pipe organ. When demons hear that sound, they will run away. That's the type of church I am dreaming. And God will help us if we agree to walk in peace. Stop gossips. Love one another. I told you about a lady that came to this church. She said to me that, hey, Pastor, honestly, what makes her happy every day is that everybody smiles in the church. Everybody is happy. You know, that kind of thing. That person will not leave the church again. He told me. Every Sunday she dreams of Sunday. Let Sunday come. So I want to encourage, let's remain peaceful. Let's maintain peace, love peace. When you see your brother erring, please tell him or her in lovely, right? Encourage. So tell him. That's how we'll make it. Now, I want to appeal to you, especially attendance of the church. I know here, Los Angeles, we do have activities, especially a lot of last Sunday. What pains pastors most is when they come to church, the attendance is dropping. It doesn't give a pastor joy. A pastor who really knows what he's doing. I'm happy when I come to this church and the church is filled with people. In fact, that's the day I will preach the best sermon because the heart is prepared. Please, when you go for your party, whether Fridays or Saturdays, please remember all saints. Please remember all saints. Come to church. Please, attendance is very, very important. BKO. Then, at the end, one other problem I have discovered is this. When I came to All Saints, normally I'm operating on the working document given to me. In Anglican Church, I've never seen people sworn don't give announcements. Announcements are made by pastor. If it's junior pastor, but I came, they said the church unanimously agreed that people sworn they will be bringing the announcement, isn't it? Now, here I discovered that most people want to talk. People want to talk. When you come to, normally people's warden, when he sits there, he has his pen, he has his book, he's writing. If you have an announcement, go and send it to him. If it's an emergency, maybe you want, before the announcement time, maybe someone is blocking someone. You can make that, we can do that. But the church agreed that pastor's warden, people's warden, should be making the announcement. I'm good, comfortable. Please submit your announcement to him. Let him. Don't come here and be dragging microphone. I've told him, anytime I give him microphone to make announcement, after the announcement, give me back my microphone. Haven't I told you that? Honestly, let's respect. Let's be orderly. Brothers and sisters, this person wants to talk. This person wants to talk. I know there was a person that spent 11 minutes here talking, making an announcement. Here in the church. And I was there boiling him. I said, what kind of thing is this? If I collect this microphone, they say Simon has come. Because I want to make this announcement. And if you respect your pastor, I know during church service, pastor is in charge. During church, you want to say something, you know that this is, why don't you tell your pastor? That you go and tell people, you'll be dragging the microphone from him. Please, let's stop that. God will help us, oh? God will help us. Then, there was an incident that happened here one time. Now, let's see what happens in Catholic Church. I always make reference to that. When your father-in-law, right? Is this your father-in-law? Yes. We attended the service of Song Suweki. And the Reverend Father conducted the service. Isn't it? I was in that meeting. Throughout, from the beginning of that service to the end, nobody made any noise. Nobody. Even if the father is not doing it well, nobody made any noise. But ours is a different thing. Something happened here. There was is it child dedication or Thanksgiving? Somebody invited an elderly man to come and cover the program. The people came. Normally you down to the altar, then I'll give you a microphone to tell us, then it is my duty to pray, isn't it? Now, that man was snapping, taking pictures, and the pastor told him, please stop, let me continue. You know what he told me openly that if he doesn't do it now, there's no other time to do it. You cannot say this in a Catholic church. The ushers will bundle you out from the church. That is the gospel truth. So I allowed him to finish taking the pictures. So, but what I now said is, sir, I asked you to stop, and you refused. That was the only thing I said. And the man picked offense and left. Right? He left. I was expecting him to come and apologize after service. That is the normal thing. So, but he didn't do that. But thank God for our able men of wisdom who went and apologized on behalf of me, that I lost it. Well, you can look at it from different points of view. But this is a church. We must be respectful to the church. When you invite people to come and cover whatever it is, please tell them to respect the sacredness of this holy assembly. And that's my duty, to protect the church, to defend it when it comes to this. Honestly, I didn't regret doing that. I didn't regret at all. And this is who I am. You should respect God. If don't respect me, but respect God. I want to thank God, please. And again, those that invite friends during services, during ceremonies, please tell them, talk to them. This is a holy ground. Let us be environmentally friendly, right? Some of the people that come in here, they mess this place up. We talked it at the board meeting, not this present board, the last board, that we should tell our members I don't want to call the group that does that kind of thing. I don't want to call any name, but please tell them so that you won't have conflict here. Tell them, if you invited them, that this is a church, we are environmentally friendly, that we should try our best to keep our environment clean. Then next year, I'm planning to be time conscious. That when we start service from 10:30, we end before 12:30. I'm trusting God that next year I'm going to cut short my sermons and every other thing. We'll be time conscious next year in the name of Jesus. Because I have found out that so many of us go to work after service. God help me, we will do that. And again, I want to thank every one of you that really everyone that is helping in lesson reading. Please keep it up. Thank you. Next year we'll continue. One of the reasons why the program doesn't come out early is because I'm looking for those that will read lessons. Sometimes there are people I will call. They will see missed calls. I will send message to them on their WhatsApp, and they will read it. They will not respond to me. So it delays it somehow. But I will look for a better method of solving that issue. I want to thank you all, and I want to pray that God will be with us. He will keep us throughout the end of this year and bring us into 2023, where we will do better than what we have done. Thank you, Lord, for giving me this time to preach. Thank you, my chair.
Thank you so much for that sobering talk. Moving on, we're almost coming to the end of this. Next on the agenda will be evangelism. I don't know, is Mrs. Helen Ezaso here? She's not, okay. So we'll skip the evangelism item. Next on the agenda is finance. Finance. If Mrs. Sally Okeke is here, she's not here either. Wow, she's not. Okay. Emenike, you're looking at me. Okay, oh, sorry. Yes, please. Oh. Oh. Okay. 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 Because thank you for that information. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, come on. On finance, right? Or something else? Okay. So the next and critical item is Q&A. So this is the time for you to please ask whatever question or make whatever suggestions you want to make. So let me use this opportunity to invite you guys, for makeup. Thank you.
Good afternoon, church. This is just an observation. I'm hoping it's an omission. And the omission is, I'm looking at all the ministries here. And the biggest investment is missing. That's the building committee. So the building committee is in charge of the whole church, the maintenance, the grounds, the van, and the running of the church. Actually, besides the spiritual aspect, that's the biggest thing we have here, this church. So we had about 5 members who were all engineers. I was heading that for, how long did we stay here? About 12 years or whatever it was. You cannot run this church without having a point person to be accountable for whatever happens here. Be it maintenance, something gets broken, or water leak somewhere, you have to have a point person. You cannot leave that to either church members or somebody that comes across it, because you can have serious damage by the time you find out. And Mr. Chairman, you said something about people saying, oh, this is the way we do it. So it's not a criticism, but let me tell you, this church came like, it's like having a child. There's no manual. A lot of things, just like children, are different. You're going to meet different problems. So why we tell you that sometimes is we base it on the experience we've had, our observations, and most important, what actually works. From the beginning of the time we purchased this church, I will tell you that we've been successful in running this church. We faltered in some ways and then picked ourselves up, and we just go with what works. And saying that is based on experience. We had a building committee, but the only 2 people that were active in it was myself and Abum. So that is, we got called upon and things we followed up, and sometimes we tried to have a meeting of the building community. It wasn't working out, so we found out that the only way you can really run this church is you're going to run this church like it's your house. No other way. A lot of us that ended up in the board, and a whole lot of you started doing work without being told. You just see what needed to be done, you did it. You observe something, you do it, because that's the only way you're going to succeed in doing it. All the money in this world, if you think we have money, we don't. If you start calling people to do this, do that, and all that kind of thing, you'll be surprised how much money you'll be spending in those things. You'll be surprised that it will take you 2 weeks, sometimes more, to get that person to come in, if you even succeed in doing that. I'm taking a little more time saying this because on the time the handover day, I was on my way to Nigeria, so I wasn't able to do that. But That's the only thing that's going to work here. So you're going to be able to, you the board members, if I'm lying, you have 5 board members from the previous board that's going to tell you, and you have, you all here are living witnesses. Dr. Okeke will volunteer his time to come here, take the van, do whatever, you know, that's how everybody got to work here to make this meaningful. And that's how you have to work to keep peace as well. You see something that is not going right, don't wait for board members to come into it and all that, you know. If you got to approach the board members, approach them. Charles, for several occasions, will call me sometimes if something is going bad or something like that. I'm far away, but sometimes technology is wonderful. We do FaceTime and all that. I put him through, and every time he's able to stop whatever it is. The last one was water leak, right? You know. So I was able to FaceTime him and all that. So we shut off the water and all that. And please don't hesitate to call on me or Boom and all that. If we no, if I'm not running away from it, you can't run away from it either. You're my boss. So that's what we did. Some of these things, we have the parts. Sometimes certain things, you know, we can direct you to where you can go get it or get help. Sometimes if it's really bad and all that kind of thing, we will find ways to make it happen, if it means coming here. So please, the building ministry, you cannot. Okay, so please, that has to be there, and there has to be a point person. There has to be somebody in charge so that if anything happens, you know, that person has to do that job. All right, thank you.
Thank you, able engineer. Your guidance and counsel have been beneficial to me so far. I appreciate that. Okay, Q&A. Doc, okay. I'm coming. Oh, okay. Thank you, Rev. Since you're here, come on.
God is good all the time. 2 minutes might not be enough for me, but I'm going to try. I'm glad that Engineer Martin mentioned that. I've always told everyone here, when you are finished, I was so many years ago, 100 years ago, but still anything in this church is personal to me. You cannot say, oh, I'm done. How can you be done? You know, and then you just become an ordinary member. It's not going to work. You have to volunteer. I know we all have our pride. Look at him. He's not the building. I think you are no longer the building, right? No. But look at him. It concerned him, and he came here and all he has to say. That's how we belong. That's how we've been moving this church along. We must continue to do that. Personally, it hurts me when the van was broken. September 4, and everybody was seeing the cranky stuff, everything in bad shape. Nobody said anything until I came and was drinking wine, and I looked at this van and said, whose van is that? Everything fell apart, and I looked inside, the whole ceiling was falling apart, and I said, no, it can't happen. That's when, not tooting my horn, I'm going to stop there, but somebody has to take care of it. We all are members of this church. Please don't abandon this church. You make me cry when that happens. I'm going to give some advice here for board. Please, you have a lot to do. You've gone through this job before, and I know you do. But one thing I'll borrow from Ronald Reagan is this. If he ain't broke, do not fix. There are many things to be done in this church. There's no reason to go and start fixing what is working. I see a lot of times people are doing, oh, I'm going to go do this, this and that. These things must be done right. If that thing is working, please leave it alone, because there are so many things to be done in this church. We haven't done what do you call it? The cross. And if you I can list so many things you can do, and they will take time. Leave the ones that are working, just supervise the ones that are working. That's all you need. Sunday children's snack. You talk to the women's leader has been saying that there was a day she took a paper and was going around looking for the old chairman of men, and went around and followed her, and after all said and done, she got nowhere. Okay? That's not right. And then up till now, she got nowhere as we are starting, because she came here and said, I haven't gotten anywhere. She didn't say it that way, but that's what she told us. But remember, what hurts me here is, if you look in every year they take $50 from me, men's ministry. When I ask the chairman, I say, what's going on? She gives me this thing about run around that I don't. I didn't understand. Oh, when they ask, I will do. That doesn't do it for me. You have to have a plan and how it's executed. Not, when they ask, we bandage. That's not the way we run church. Please do your best to get that money from the men's ministry, okay? I believe Ben will do a whole lot of giving you how we do it, and the men, if you haven't paid your $50, pay it, okay? It's very important. The children and then we spend the money on the children the day we don't have anything to eat. Men, you go into your account and go home, okay? All right. Then I'm not going to take too much. The effort should be made to bolster the children's and young adults, whatever it takes to do it. Let's do it. If we have to go and hire somebody from outside, if we can't volunteer, let's go do it. But the children and the adult is why we're here. Very soon we'll be falling apart, and then these children, well, I'll stop so far. Okay. Okay, I said, please, Canon and Wereji, please take your vacation. You are paid, you have a paid vacation, take it. First of all, it's against the law not to take it, okay? That's where I'm going to stop. Thank you very much.
Emenike says it as it is, you know. Okay, Solo. Sorry, okay. So after Solo, after he has microphone already. And you, Alan, hold on. In fact, okay. Okay. Good afternoon, church. First of all, I have to commend the last speaker. He said something that bothers me as a father of 4 teenage boys and a teenage girl. One is that I don't know if this church has something we call transitional age, where the kids or the young adults will transition from that place into this church. I have not seen that. Other churches at the age of 13, you are good to go. And it's a very big ceremony that will be done in the church. How are we training our kids? We pack them there. They don't benefit from what our reverend, a dedicated man of God, the kind of sermons he gives out here that are there, talking of PS5 and iPhone and all that doesn't make sense. And that doesn't make me happy as a father, because I'm coming from another church. So please, board, I'm begging you, not every time, because I've had it time without numbers if we are not organized. Women will come here and say, men, please help us with coffee hour. Then children's minister will come here, men help us with children's this thing. That is not how things are done.
board got to come together, have their meeting. I have meeting with all the departmental heads where they will come and present their needs to you. We fashion it, you cross out certain ones, and this, then there will be harmony. Women will be happy, men will be happy, and everybody will be happy at the end of the day. I have a lot to say, but I want to reserve this in here. The only thing is that please let us make plans on how to engage our youths. One, not only transitioning them into the church, but transitioning them. We old men and women are not supposed to be reading lessons in the church when we have brilliant kids up there. This man is too old to be carrying that cross. One day he will fall here. We have youths. No. I'm saying, I'm just making an example. We get to train our kids. He has to have an assistant. Excuse me. You're supposed to have an assistant whom some days you may be at work. You will not be available here. So that your assistant is going to be a youth that will take over from you. Then we have to create a band section where these youths can now learn how to play these instruments. One day, they will come over there and take over from these adults. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Incidentally, you are the secretary of the men's ministry. And there's something called collaborative governance, a two-way traffic. I mentioned this earlier. Please, don't hesitate to reach out to the board. If you have an idea, if you have a need, if you have a suggestion, we are very welcoming. And the essence of this collaborative government is to really work together and articulate a strategic approach to what we need to do for the church. We are humans, and we all engage in this on a part-time basis. And not giving any excuse, of course, the challenges are there. You can't be in a leadership position without enormous challenges ahead of you. So this is very welcoming and refreshing. All I'm saying, please, do not hesitate. Even writing notes, requesting to have an audience in our monthly meeting, or send suggestions in our WhatsApp group. Believe me, Charlie is always, we work together so well to put our agenda together and try to address step by step what needs to be done in the church. Thank you for your suggestions and all that.
Thank you for that suggestion. You see, all these things are doable, they are workable. But the problem is this. Your children, the problem is from the parents. These children cannot drive to church by themselves. They need their parents to bring them to church. But they are not doing that. That is truth. I wanted to start young adult choir, right? Band, choir band. I have discussed, in fact, somebody wanted to sponsor it in this church. But the problem is, will you leave your work and bring your children here on the day we are meeting? Will other parents do that? Honestly, that's a problem. Except those that can drive, to church. That will be fine. But that's a challenge. Even though we go to work, we're going to see what we can do. But let's have it at the back of the mind that if parents want our young adults to be involved in what we are doing here, right? They can do it. They know how to do. They know what to do. If they can alternate their jobs or whatever to do other things, if they see it as a business, like Engineer Gaius said it, right? If we see it as our own thing, right, we will do it. And what you said about this man, honestly, it is in my program, right? It is in my program. Very soon it will happen. I'm beginning to
pray and get someone who will be carrying the cross. What he said is true, so that, he will not fall in Jesus' name.
And he's doing it voluntarily, isn't it? Okay, good.
Good afternoon, church. I want to move to another trajectory. And it's not administration, rather morals. Please, my comment is an appeal. In every family, even in our nuclear families, there are problems, there are issues. But there are ways to solve those problems. And one thing that I want to appeal to All Saints Church family is this. Whenever we have an issue or problem that comes up, let us not use the words like Yahudeba, Owundeba, Owonyeba, Owonyeba. Many of you know me. Personally, I don't have issues with anybody in this church or in this community. But when you say that, personally, I will take a fight with you. At All Saints Anglican Church, there is no Owonye Owere, Owonye Onitsha, Owonye Nnewi. Please, I am begging this church family to not use those kind of words. Thank you.
Thank you, Solo. Thank you. Appreciate it. Alan. You can use mine.
It's good now. It's good now. Good afternoon, church. I think most of the things that have been said here, we've tried most of them. But the appeal I want to make now is to Gaius and Abu. They are very well educated about this building. Because of they are not in the board anymore, they can still be the building chairperson and assistant person. They can still do the job for us. But they are still members of this church. You don't have to be a member of the board to serve this church. So the board chair will appeal to them, unless hopefully they will accept and continue that job. That will make your job easier. Secondly is this. When it comes to what somebody said about the children ministry, when we started this church, we tried all those. We used to have even classes here. And most of our young adults, when you bring them here every Sunday, you lose all of them. Because they don't have the patience to sit down and not do all this. So that's why we have that children, young adults ministry. Because when you bring them here, our kids, they don't want to come to church anymore. So they don't understand what they are doing in the church. Especially when you have the Igbo section. So because of we've gone through that, because of our experience, that's why we created that young adults ministry, and it was working very well. So once a month they come here, they will read their Bible, they will do everything, they go back to their enclave, and that is why we kept them for a long time. So having said that, if you look at our program, you see that we have all those positions filled. We have the acolytes. The acolytes are the cross bearers. We have Keba Column and Chiemerie. Now, these are the young ones. They used to carry the cross, but these kids when they start carrying the cross, at the point they get tired. So that's why my brother volunteered to do it. See? Huh? I know before they went to college. I'm telling you, I dealt with them. So, huh? No. I'm just talking about the carrying of the cross. So that was why my brother volunteered. I'm telling you, this is what happened. So please, thank you for your job, and I hope you will continue to do it. You won't fall down. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Okay.
Okay. So just to help out what you just said, I have something here, like I said, youth ministry. This is the most important ministry in this church because in the next 20 years, all of us will fade away. And this church will be empty. Do you know why? We do not handle the youth very well. It happens in other churches. If we're not careful how to handle these youth, and these youths are very dynamic, that's why they're complaining that they need more activities. We need to look into those activities they need, provide it for them, so that we'll keep them here. Even if they don't hear Igbo or they don't know what we are doing here, we need to find activities to hold them together for that 1 or 30 minutes, or else we will lose them. That's my own point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Obviously, this is an area we have to explore further because when the attorney said something about transitory or a transitional approach, I don't know whether he means it in a formal setting or something that we can walk through over time, because there's value to what they are doing upstairs in the young adult ministry environment. Before we make that transition, are they mentally, emotionally, intellectually ready to congregate with adults? These are the things we need to look into. So, yeah, of course, this kind of transition will be natural. And like the canon said, the investment of the parents will also be a factor. Let's keep in mind, just like the Obom's kids, Ben's kids, were very, very active folks in this church. Where are they now? They've matured, gone. Even Ephraim's kids. These were the pillars of the youth ministry here. But they have moved on naturally, you know. So all we have to do is to really breed succession of kids that will continue to enliven the youth ministry. Okay. Doc. Okay.
Good afternoon, Church.
After him, okay?
I'm going to talk about the ushers.
We're doing well so far because when in the West, we soon wrap up, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the ushers. In other churches, you know, you come in the morning, you come to church, and the usher says you to, you know, stay back. You don't take an offense because they know when to get you in, they know when to stop you from coming in. This morning, I put the, this now on the, and then I saw people, they just came, moved it out and just squeezed it. Okay, now. See, I cannot really fight them. Or you know, one time, I did that several years ago. And the person just let the door, and then I was on the floor. So I told the ushers, if anybody say, you know, insists of coming in, even though you don't, just give way. Get out of the person's way because you don't know whether the person slept well last night. You don't know. Yeah, you don't know what is in his mind. Really, I'm telling you the truth. Some people are here in the church, but they are really, really good. Mind is not here. Yes. But to tell you the truth, when I'm here, that's my best time. I will behave my best in the church. But some people, they come with their worst. And it shouldn't be like that. Yes. If you see somebody, oh, how are you? If the person just walks, you wouldn't say anything. So you say, oh, wow. But, so the church really is, especially this sanctuary here. There was one time I was sitting over there listening to the Bible study. And one lady, I think she works in the She works, she sings in the choir, And she came right in front of me and started sweeping around. I said, wow. So when did you become a janitor? She didn't say anything. You don't know what the person has in mind. You just don't. So the best thing is, don't play with anybody because you don't know what that person, you may know that, oh, this person, his name is Friday, but that's all you know. You don't know why, what is in my mind, what I went through last night, what I, maybe through, when I'm on the freeway, you don't know. So when you deal with people, please, deal with humility, respect. That's really all. Once you do that, everything will be okay. But when you come in with anger and all that and so forth, then it speaks to some people, innocent people, that don't even know what's going on. This afternoon, I found something in the offering plate. I showed it to Emenike, but I didn't want to say it out here. People should respect this sanctuary. Anything you are putting on the plate should be money, nothing else. Don't put things like toothpaste or toothpick or just or paper tissue. It doesn't belong to the offering table. People should be respectful. That's all I'm saying. Be respectful. This is sanctuary. When you get out there, if you go home, nobody knows what you are doing at home. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay. So let me go back to the ushers. So please, when the ushers put that stuff across the doors, respect that. Because we don't want people coming in when we are praying. Yes. And then it comes to respect again. I will be reading Nicene Creed, and somebody is coming there. Hey, somebody wants to talk to you. That's not respect. Yes. You come in, you look, they are playing. You just stay back. You don't start calling somebody. Oh, go and call me this person. It's just like very unrespectful. Is that because this is our church? If you go to Episcopal church, to tell you the truth, you don't even know who is who. Everybody, after you finish, you go home. Nobody does anything that is out of ordinary. We have a bathroom here, which is very good. And people are going in and out, in and out, in and out. To tell you the truth, I have only gone to the bathroom at the Episcopal church only once. Yes. Nobody gets up, keep going in and out. And when I went to the bathroom, it was about 100 years away. 100 years. So I just dread about going to the bathroom there because it's so far away, I couldn't even find it. So I make sure that, I did everything before I go to church because their bathroom is so far away. So the bathroom we have here is good. But people keep going in and out, going in and out. It's okay if you are doing it out there, but you go in, come back in, go in, come back to the church. And the ushers are, yes. So, all these things. The movement, we move everywhere, You come to church, you leave your cell phone, everybody's looking at you. Turn your phone off. Because you're in the presence of God. And then when you get out there, my phone is off. When you can call as much as you want. You won't get me. When I get out of there, here, I turn my phone on. Yeah, because this is sanctuary. I don't know whether people know that this is church. You can't eat in the church. When I was growing up, when I come into the church, I was scared. Yeah. So... my next thing is acolytes. Somebody has said something about it. Acolytes, we used to have a lot of acolytes. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, disappeared. Yeah. And then with the kids, with the kids, the way we are saying it now, with the kids, I don't know if you guys know, when my kids were in this church, every Sunday, they will get ready before me, Dad, we have to go. I said, yes, they want to come and meet other kids. They want to play, you know, and their week starts on Friday evening. Thanks to Casey. Casey will come to church on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And she will plan everything, take these kids to movies and stuff. Why is it that we can't have volunteers to do that? Yes. You know, we went to, what do you call it, bowling alley. Yeah, I took my kids. But of course, most of us were all men. You see the men taking their daughter and their sons to the movies because we like what is going on. So now, why is it that we don't have that anymore? Okay? We used to have Igbo class too. Igbo. We teach, these kids come, we teach them Igbo and so forth. You know, my son, one time I gave him something. He was telling me, he called me at work and said, Dad, I just want to tell you, emailer. I said, what? And then he said, so it took me a while before I understood that he was speaking Igbo. I said, oh, okay. You know, yes. But it was this church that did, yes. So we don't have somebody like Casey who can do this. One time he took all the kids to the hotel. I remember that. I had to go with my kids because my younger one was very little. He asked anyhow. So I went and rented a room so that he can be there, you know. So that's the, you know, all these are the things we need, you know, in this place. We need to get the kids. Yes. They are our future here. And then finally, our kids are not the ones that we take over this church. Because when they grow up, they leave. Yes. So we cannot depend on them to be the leaders of this church. They will come back, join us, go back, wherever they are. But they are not the ones. The people that will this church are the young families. Yes, we look for those young people with young children because those are the ones that will stay here until their kid grows up. You know, so young families, immigrant Nigerians are the ones that we, yes, not our kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ezo, for, ladies and gentlemen, that's the essence of this meeting. Opportunity to reflect on our strengths and weaknesses. Opportunity to talk to ourselves. Remind ourselves about our blind-sightedness. Thank you for that. And I hope the thing about people circumventing barricades and challenging us, I hope it's an isolated incident. I hope it is. Because basic decency and self-respect, you know, reminds that when you see a barricade, that's stop sign, and you wait for the ushers to guide you. There are certain things you don't need to remind adults, but I guess in these days, we have to keep doing that. Thank you. Thank you again. Yes, ma'am.
Praise the Lord. They say catch them young. I'm still going to say what they say on the kids. You see, I'm coming from the same church with Peter Obi and the wife. We all come from the same church. Like in my former church, we have these young adults. We have them as choir. We have the little children over there. They have their own group of choir too. They teach them the songs we sing here. They teach them, most times, they come up to sing. But here, the young adults, they are just roaming about. They are supposed to be in the choir. Most of them, they are grown up to be in the choir. If they don't know, we teach them how to sing. You know, not only going around, carrying phone up and down and running around. No, you have to bring them to know what we are doing in the church, like others said. We should have them in the choir. And this front seat, when the choir is full, they should vacate this front seat for the choir to sit if the young adults join us, because here is not enough for us. They should vacate this seat for the choir. When you come and the place is filled up, you sit down there. That's why when the seat is filled up, most of the choir members don't come to join because there is no space. So this seat should be vacated for the choir so that all of them can join up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I respond to her? Since she's talking about the choir.
Briefly.
Yeah, briefly, just for 1 second. What happens is that this choir issue, we have three, the music ministry has 3 different choirs. We have the cathedral choir, which is the choir you see now. We have the young adults choir, and we have the men's choir. The only thing is that the men's choir have not been it's led by solo, the men's choir. I oversee the whole choir. The young adults have their own choir too. So the board has to create a space, a timetable whereby you let the young adults come here and occupy here and sing. And I used to help them. The men's choir, we have our uniform. We come here, that's the blue one. They come here and participate. So the board have to create, when they're doing their calendar, please include that calendar to allow men to have their days and the young adults to have their days to come and participate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Real quick, I know a lot has been said about our biggest investment, which is our children, the youth and adult, the youth ministry. I'm looking at it from a different approach. We have this, we struggled with it in the past, and maybe it's for the board if it's something they can look into and revisit. First, we hired a youth minister. If you cannot remember, during the time of Chinedu, we talked about vibrant youth ministry. That also helped. So we had a youth minister at that time also who helped to guide the children and other things. They were like mentorship. Even the children themselves, the youth themselves at that time, they were even helping and teaching the children in the church and the young adult in the children ministry. Then after that, we also went ahead and started another site for another youth minister. That's how Olu came in, if you remember. So that also helps. Being that we know that this is a very big challenge for us, maybe the board can look into it again to begin another search for a youth minister. So that is one. And number 2, other things have been said, something like this, the coffee hour, which is very big challenging, is been addressed. Please, we need to take care of that. If it's something board will look into so that it doesn't come up again and again, that is also. And we also had this, that of a pastor, for the pastor to tell us, Emenike said that pastor to take his distant vacation. What we did, probably that's what the board can also look into. In your meetings, like at the beginning of the year, you can have the pastor choose when he like to go on vacation, like a calendar, whether he will take it like, 3 consecutive or 2 consecutive weeks or weekly. Then we also have the diocese. I know we have capable people to take care of the church in the pastor's absence, but there is also supply priests so that arrangement can be made way ahead of time with the pastor or to have a pastor in terms of communion. That is the only thing they may not be able to officiate. Then the diocese can make provision to have a supply priest. If it is a Sunday, we need to have communion to at least fill in for the pastor for that time. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Let me exonerate the board. Sorry, please, sorry. Sorry, sir. Oh, Pico.
Sorry.
Let me exonerate the past board. They have allowed me to go for my vacation. But we agreed that when I get my green card, I will use it to travel. Even when my father died, I didn't travel. When he died, I was still, coming to church. The week they buried him, I was in church. The day they got it, I was in church. Right? So I like doing the work. I like serving. So it's not a board issue. It's my issue. When I travel, the board gives me 2 weeks, right? That's what, but we agree that since they are gathering my distance 4 years now, that is how many, that's 2 months that they will give me. It won't exceed 1 month because I'm traveling to Nigeria. So I want to thank the past board. They approved that. So I'm waiting for when I get my green card so that I can't just take 2 weeks to go to Nigeria and come back. So I just want to say that I'm managing, and I'm a young guy. God is helping me. Thank you.
Okay. And what?
Good afternoon, church. Just going back to what has been going on with the youth group. Kelechi is here, and I'm here. I think what we need is a few more hands and maybe a meeting and a real program. There was a day I met with Dr. Ogokeke in Reverend's office. And Reverend, you remember that meeting? I tried to outline some things that we have done in the past that worked. My brother Ope just said it. Transition program is very important. At some point, when we are not doing Igbo service, there are some times we need to bring those kids in, especially those of them that are 14, 15, 16, to start knowing what happens in church. And their program about singing and the special programs they do and all the other stuff, it takes a lot of time. Kelechi is very good in having them planning all their acting activities. I was good in making sure I pick songs that they perform and the rest of it. And it was a lot of collaboration. And the Olu was doing very well, calling for a meeting. We will meet, meet with the young adults and all that, and those things were being planned. Currently, I think all that has fallen apart. One person cannot lead that group. It needs a lot of inclusion and a lot of open minds to basically draw more people in with different ideas and people who are willing to help out in that department. Everything that has been said here, we had everything before. Everything, and the kids were involved at different levels. But as they have grown and gone back to school, left for universities and the rest of it, we need continuous empowerment among that group to make sure that we are giving them time and opportunities to do things that can also help them to transition, because right now there is a big gap because nobody has helped the ones that were there before to keep transitioning and keep doing what they need to do. The last group we had was Obumo Keke's daughter, your little Adugo. So those ones did the last group of acting in the church, singing in the church, all those little stuff. But now there is a big gap because we haven't captured the next group that will basically do that transition. But transition is very, very important because when they don't transition into the main church, when they leave, there is a big vacuum. Thank you.
3 more questions and we'll wrap it up. Just 3 more.
Okay. Praise the Lord. I don't really have a question.
Hold on, Pesha.
Please, we are doing our best. It's because of some of the things some of you pointed out here that I dedicated second Sunday of every month to the young adults. That's when they come in here. You saw when was that? I was talking to their coordinator, that coming here is not just to read lessons, and there's no program, right? So we have tried our best. Do you know last time I had baptism? I asked them to come in. You know why I asked them to come in? Some of them don't even know what baptism is. Some of them don't know what baptism is. I said I didn't want to say it in public. Some don't know what baptism is. That's why I asked them to come in and observe it. Please, I cannot just live here. One day I left here to be with them. That's the day I had the one word. I've not had that word before. My former boss, my boss, Engineer Boom said, it's not good to leave the altar pastorless. That's the word. I won't forget that word, pastorless, right? And it's true. People coming to church will not, no pastor, they say, hey, what has happened? Because I went to stay with the young adults, and one day, one Sunday, maybe I will try it. And begin to teach them the basic Christian faith that they need to know. If they don't know what baptism is here. But Dr. Mrs. Casey Azoma was with them last 3 Sundays? And some of the things she shared with me marveled me, honestly. So that place, we need to do a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Colonel. Mrs. Ikemer.
Yeah, praise the Lord again. Mine is just an observation. Young adult to young adult. Look around, and the people that are here. How many, the people that have these young kids you guys are going to work with, are they here? Both male and female. So the thing, I got question for that. This is America. You still have to pay the bill. Some people are in school. Some people are doing. Look at most people that are here are those that are kids are grown. Our youngest child is 18 and Nicole is 5 years older than her. My brother-in-law, Le Silas, Le Jinude, Le Brother Boom, Le Casey, Ify, and the rest. Our kids are grown. During those days, all husband and wife. For me, Ben is more flexible and drives very well. He doesn't mind taking the kids and bringing them. You guys have to focus on those young ones that you guys need to do something for their kids. It's either we're going to have a meeting, write their names out, call them. Even we are going through, during my regime and Evelyn, it's the same issue we have. Most of these young men are not in the women ministry. And when something happens, some people try to support them. You know, things are done in a certain way. So we have things to do. You have to talk to them. You have to say something. Because they are the one to bring the kids, and they are the one to take them home. Only get all these kids are for. You're not going to go and pick them up from their homes. So we have a lot. It's just not on the surface. There's other things we have to do about it. Thank you.
Points well taken. Thank you. 2 more, if otherwise.
Another person.
This announcement, Biko. Sorry. When you are here, Biko, if you're not registered. Attendance, please. Go in once. Go in. Gone.
Okay, thank you so much. The meeting is about to wrap up, and let me call somebody to move for an adjournment. Mrs. Ahiwe moved, Mrs. Awujo seconded. The meeting has come to a close. Thank you so much for this wonderful gathering. Thank you.